Hi, welcome to Listen to Riches. Today, I will explain to you the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you want to improve your life and get back on track, the book Atomic Habits can really help you. This book is written by James Clear, who knows a lot about how habits work. He can teach you how to make good habits and get rid of bad ones. Did you know that even small things you do every day can make a big difference in your life? This book will show you how that works. If you've been struggling to change your habits, don't blame yourself. It's not you, it's the way you've been trying to change. Our brains like things that are easy and give us quick happiness. But don't worry, James Clear has a plan that really works. It will help you change your habits and make your life better. By reading this book, you'll find out how to make time for new habits. You'll also learn how to stay motivated even when you don't feel like it, and how to set up your surroundings so that doing the right thing is easy. The book will also teach you about keeping track of what you do and finding someone to support you and make sure you're doing what you want to do. All of these things together will help you succeed and make your life the best it can be. Before we start, remember to subscribe and like our channel and share it with your friends. I wish you all a pleasant listening time. I will separate this book into 3 parts for you ease to understand. The first part talk about how tiny changes can make a big difference. That is what the book titles resembles, Atomic Habits as Tiny Habits. The second part will talk about 4 simple laws to follow to build better habits. And the final part will talk about the importance of tracking your habits. Now, let us begin with the first part, how tiny changes can make a big difference. When it comes to doing well, a lot of people focus on the wrong thing. They pay attention to the final goal instead of the journey to get there. They believe that making big decisions will take them straight to success. But that's not quite true. In reality, getting better by just 1% every day means you'll end up being 37 times better than before. On the other hand, if you get a little worse each day, you'll end up almost at 0. So, the small things you do regularly matter a lot and make a big impact. Think about a plane flying from Los Angeles to New York. It needs to stay on a specific path to reach its destination. Imagine if the pilot changed the course just a tiny bit, like 3.5 degrees south. It might not seem like a big deal, and most people might not even notice. But when the plane lands, the passengers would realize something is off. That small change in direction would take them to Washington, D.C. instead of New York. We usually don't notice small changes because their effects don't show up right away. Sometimes it takes months or even years to see the results. For example, having a single slice of pizza won't make you unhealthy. But having pizza every single night for dinner could lead to weight gain over a year. Similarly, doing a short 30-minute yoga class once won't make you instantly fit. It's the small things you do regularly that add up and create big changes. The outcomes in our life are a reflection of our habits. How much money someone has is because of their money habits. Just like how someone's health comes from their daily habits of eating and exercising. Over time, the difference between success and failure gets bigger. Which is why our everyday choices matter more than we think. If you want to figure out where you'll end up in life, just look at the pattern of your daily choices. Bad habits can bring us down just as easily as good habits can build us up. This is why it's important to know how to shape your daily habits to help you. The trick is to make small changes in what you do. When you keep doing these small things, they turn into habits that lead to big results. Do you ever start doing something good, like exercising or meditating, but then after a short while, it becomes a bit of a bother? Changing habits can be tough because a lot of times, we go about it the wrong way or try to change the wrong things. To really change our habits, we first need to know how they work. There are 4 steps to forming a habit: cue, craving, response, and reward. Think about what you do when you get into your car. You might put in the key, buckle your seatbelt, check the mirrors, and drive off without even thinking. It's become a habit from doing it so many times. So, how do habits actually start? They begin with something that triggers you, like getting into your car triggers you to start driving. Next, you might want something to change, like wanting to go somewhere. So you start driving as your response. And finally, When you reach your destination, you feel good, that's the reward. This habit loop can explain lots of things you do daily. Like in the morning, brushing your teeth. Maybe having breakfast or drinking coffee triggers you to want your mouth to feel fresh and clean. So you go to the bathroom, get your toothbrush, brush your teeth, and then your mouth feels fresh, that's the reward. This pattern happens with many habits. The trigger makes you want something, which leads you to do something. And then you feel satisfied. Our actions are often driven by wanting to solve a problem, which is part of the trigger and wanting phase of the habit loop. For example, imagine your phone buzzes with a new text message. You want to know what's in the message, so you pick up your phone and read it. The reward is finding out what the message says. Not all habits are bad, of course. But when we develop unhealthy or negative habits, we feel the effects later. And those habits become harder to change. That's why it's important to know about the habit loop. It can help you understand how to make better habits by changing the things that trigger you, what you want, what you do, and what makes you feel good. Now, let's see how you can start creating better habits. And here comes the second part, the 4 simple laws to follow. The first law, make it obvious. When we talk about cues, we mean things like our phone buzzing or having a cup of coffee. These things make us want to do something, like checking messages or brushing our teeth. Once you understand how these cues affect us, you can learn how to use them to build better habits. For example, a doctor wanted to help the hospital staff and visitors eat healthier. She had an idea. She replaced soda with bottled water in the fridges next to the cash registers. And not just there, she put bottled water in every place where you could get a drink. In 3 months, more people bought water, 25.8% more, and fewer people bought soda, 11.4% less. By changing what people saw, they made better choices, like picking water over soda. You see, our eyes are super powerful. We have millions of parts in our body that help us sense things, and a lot of them are for seeing. So, what we see really influences what we do. Even small changes in what we see can make us do big things. Luckily, we can set up our environment to help us. But how? Imagine you want to get into the habit of playing the guitar. If you keep your guitar hidden in a box in your closet, you might forget to play. Instead, put your guitar somewhere you can easily see it, like in the middle of your room. If you want to eat healthier snacks, put them on the counter where you can see them, not hidden in the pantry. And if you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes and shoes the night before. When you wake up, you'll see them and remember to exercise. Seeing things can remind us to do our habits. You can also plan to do things by using implementation intentions. This just means making a plan ahead of time for when, where, and how you'll do something. Planning makes it more likely you'll stick to your habits. For example, a study found that people who were asked when will you vote, and how will you get to the voting place, were more likely to vote compared to those who were only asked if they would vote. So, instead of just saying you'll exercise more, plan it out like this. I'll go to a spin class after work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And pack your gym stuff and leave it where you can see it, like in the front seat of your car. The second law, make it attractive. Every day, we see lots of ads that try to make things like clothes, food, and stuff look better. People change pictures to make them look perfect using special lighting and computer tools. They do this to make things seem more appealing to us so we'll want to buy them. The same idea can help us with habits. If something seems attractive, we're more likely to turn it into a habit. Here's the deal. When we do something we enjoy, like eating yummy food or having fun, our brains make a special chemical called dopamine. This chemical makes us feel really good. And guess what? We don't have to actually do those things to get that happy feeling. Our brain makes dopamine even when we're just thinking about doing those things. This is our brain's way of telling us, hey, that thing is good for you. Do it and feel great. Remember how excited you felt on Christmas morning? That's because your brain was releasing dopamine, making you feel happy and excited. Now, not everything that makes us feel good is actually good for us. Some things, like too much junk food or spending too much time online, can be bad for our health. That's why it's smart to use what we know to build good, healthy habits. If we turn something we like into a habit, we're more likely to keep doing it. There's a cool trick called temptation bundling that can help. It's like combining two things together. Let's say you want to exercise more, but you're not a big fan of it. You do like watching your favorite shows, though. So, here's what you could do. Watch your shows while you're on a treadmill or a stationary bike. That way, you get to enjoy your show while you exercise. There is one parent I know share with me how their kids got good results in their tests and examinations. The parent actually allowed the kids to redeem one of their wishes if they matched their aim in the exams. And of course, the kids pay extra effort in order to get their wishes come true. These tricks can make your habits more appealing and easier to stick to. The third law, make it easy. Let me tell you a story. A teacher gave his students an art project. He split them into two groups. Group 1 had to make lots of drawings to get a good grade. Group 2 had to make one perfect drawing. Can you guess which group got the better grade? It was the first group, the one that make lots of drawing. But why? Well, the first group did not feel stressed by wanting to make a perfect drawing. Instead, they practiced from lots of drawings and improved from there. And the second group focused on making just one drawing perfect. This idea also works for habits. Many times, people worry too much about finding the best way to start. They plan and think, but they never actually do the habit. So, the secret to making any habit stick is to stop worrying about how long it takes. Just make it simple and do it. We, humans, like doing easy things. If a habit is hard, we won't do it often. But even hard habits can become easy with some tricks. For example, think about sending cards for special occasions like birthdays or sad times. It's a nice thing to do, but it can be hard to find a card, write in it, and send it. Here's a trick: buy a bunch of cards at once and keep them at home. This makes sending cards much easier. No need to go to the store every time. You can also use this trick to stop bad habits. The best way to break a bad habit is to make it hard to do. If you want to stop watching too much TV, unplug it and take out the remote batteries. That way, you won't easily turn it on. Instead, you can focus on a healthier habit. Here's one more trick: the 2-minute rule. Start really small to make the habit easy. For example, if you need to study, just open your notes. If you want to do yoga after work, just take out your mat. When you break a habit into small steps, it's easier to start, and that helps you make the habit stick for a long time. The fourth law, make it satisfying. The last step in making a habit that lasts is to make it feel good. Big companies understand this idea and use it to make people like their products more. Let's take toothpaste for example. When they added mint to it, people enjoyed brushing their teeth because it gave a fresh feeling. If something doesn't feel good, we might not want to do it again. A man was studying how to make people healthier. He noticed that many kids were getting sick a lot because they did not care about hygiene. So, he tried something. He brought in good soap for them to wash their hands. Before, they knew it was important to wash hands, but they didn't really like doing it. But with the new soap, they enjoyed washing their hands because it smelled nice and felt good. Soon, more and more people started washing their hands regularly, and the sicknesses went down a lot. Some habits give us a good feeling right away, like washing hands or brushing teeth. But many habits don't give us that good feeling right away. For example, we go to work every day, but the happy part, like getting paid, might come later. Or we might start exercising. But seeing the results could take weeks or months. Sometimes, habits that feel good right away can have bad effects later. This is why some people still smoke, even though they know it can hurt them in the long run. Smoking might give them a good feeling now, even if the problems show up much later. Because of this, it's smart to link a good feeling to habits that you want to do. For example, the writer talks about friends who wanted to stop eating out so much. They wanted to be healthier and save money. So, they made a plan. They named a savings account trip to Europe. Every time they skipped eating out, they put $50 in that account. Seeing the money go in right away made them feel good. It helped them keep up the habit of not eating out. They made the habit feel good, and in the end, they saved enough money for their trip. Now, we continue to the final part of this audiobook, the importance of habits tracking. Getting rid of a bad habit or starting a good one can be tough. Even though it feels good to see progress, sometimes it takes time to feel that good. This can make us give up on our healthy habits. Also, we like seeing proof that we're doing better, but that's not always easy with habits like quitting smoking. But there's a trick to help you see progress in a clear way: habit tracking. Habit tracking is a simple but helpful way to make sure you're staying on track with your goals. This idea isn't new at all. Benjamin Franklin, a long time ago, used this method successfully. When he was just 20, he carried a small book around everywhere he went. He used it to keep track of 13 things he wanted to do or not do every day. Some were things to avoid, like wasting time on useless talks. Others were things he wanted to do, like always doing something useful. Every night, he would write down how well he did, making a picture diary of his healthy habits. One easy way to do habit tracking is to use a calendar. You mark off the days when you do your daily habits. When you see your habits on a calendar, it helps you keep doing them. Tracking your habits is clear and shows you how you're doing. Plus, it feels nice to cross off the days when you've done your tasks. Studies show that people who track their progress, like losing weight, getting healthier, or quitting smoking, do better than those who don't. Having someone to support you or making a habit contract can also make a big difference. Just like we want to do things that feel good, we also want to avoid things that feel bad or cost us something. This means we change our behavior when there's a result right away. For example, if your grades are affected by missing class, you're more likely to go. You know what happens if you don't go, so you do. You can use this idea to help build good habits. Take Alex as an example. Alex wanted to reduce his weight, but he was addicted to snacks. He then made a deal with his wife that he will need to pay $100 to his wife if he touched any snacks before he managed to lose his weight. Alex's plan worked because he didn't want to lose money and he cared what his wife thought. He didn't want to disappoint them. Sometimes, just knowing that someone is watching you can help you succeed. This is why having someone to support you or making a habit contract can help you stick to healthy habits. In conclusion, a lot of people think that big changes are what make us successful, but it's actually the small things we do every day that matter the most. Our daily habits, even the little ones, shape who we become in the future. So, it's really important to have good habits to lead a successful and long life. But I know, making new habits isn't easy at all. The good news is, there are tricks that can help you start new habits right now. These tricks are like rules for forming habits. Make them obvious, make them attractive, make them simple, and make them satisfying. When you make your habits feel good and easy, you're more likely to keep doing them. And if you have someone who supports you or a special plan, it can help you even more when you're trying to start good habits or stop bad ones. That's all for today. Congratulations on finishing another book. If you like to check out other book summaries, please subscribe to Listen to Riches. Also like and share this valuable knowledge with your friends. Let us combine wisdom with practice to achieve our financial goals and create a better future. Thank you and see you in my next audiobook.